Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap podcast from SNXweave, where we give quick weekly recaps of news and important updates from the previous week from the Spartan Council and core contributors, as well as discuss what the Grants Council and ambassadors are up to, so let's get started. In case you missed it, the V2 staking app is live and is now the default option for stakers. This includes many improvements on the old app and is designed to help onboard new DeFi users to synthetic staking. The new app includes easy to understand steps for users, ensuring that they know what to do next not to miss out on rewards and maintain a healthy C ratio, a focus on accessibility and user friendliness, making staking more approachable for newcomers to DeFi, information about Synthetic's ecosystem protocols, easier access to non-staking features like SNX loans, governance, and guides, and speed and logic improvements for the app. So be sure to check out our new staking app and experience the improved UX for yourself. As for atomic swaps, Caleb gave a few updates last week, including some items that are currently in the pipeline. These included product improvement via a Curve governance proposal to lower fees, another upcoming integration with Keeper, hoping to direct integrate with the Curve pools that include Forex, and CowSwap expressing interest in a direct integration. Caleb also said the volume has been great and they haven't observed any latency attacks, although he noted that the volume is a bit lower than it previously was, mostly because of the market turmoil lately. He also elaborated on what the new direct integration parameters will entail. Fees will be lowered from 15 basis points to 7 basis points on synthetics, and Curve fees will be lowered from 8 basis points to 4 basis points. Effectively, this is a fee reduction of 12 basis points, which brings the trading cost to a level that is pretty competitive with Uniswap v3. Also, some of the recent updates have actually eliminated the need for SIP 272 for dynamic fees and atomic swaps, specifically the use of Curve amplification factors to manage liquidity. As for v3, the core code is frozen and is currently with the auditors. Core contributors are working on polishing tests and documentation, but the main focus is doing whatever is necessary to help move the audit process along. The priority for new builds in v3 is for markets, and once the spot markets are in audit, the next item on the roadmap will be to get started on perps v3 work. This will hopefully happen in the beginning of the new year. And speaking of perps, v2 came back from the auditors with some final feedback, and since then, the delayed orders have been improved and the keepers are now performing very well. Fief said they're hoping to be finished for deployment next week. There were also a couple of SIP presentations last week, both on perps v2, so let's briefly review them. The first was SIP 279, summarizing the high-level improvement proposal for perps v2. As we all probably know by now, perps v2 proposes a redesign of the Synthetics perpetual futures mechanism to support unconstrained open interest limits, broader asset compatibility, and efficient execution. With perps v2, there will be no more infinite liquidity, and a lot of issues around market manipulation will be resolved by levying a certain amount of price impact on exchanges. Fief said it's a really powerful risk management tool because it automatically makes sure LPs are delta neutral on average. He also elaborated a bit on the funding rate velocity, which represents a mathematically minor adjustment to the current system with significant implications to the overall mechanism. Skew would dictate the funding rate velocity instead of the instantaneous funding rate. This also allows for zero skew with a non-zero funding rate, which is a great feature. Be sure to check out the written SIP for an example of how the new funding rate model works. The next presentation was SIP 280 for perps upgradability in perps v2. Fief gave a quick update on this SIP to take any questions. It was originally presented by Leo, and the only remaining question was how to migrate positions. After speaking with Quenta, it was decided to leave the V1 contracts available to allow users time to wind down their positions and move over to perps v2. Open interest limits would be reduced gradually, which would limit the utility over time. This would allow perps v2 to be launched in parallel to the existing perps contracts. Lastly, elections are upon us. The election will be conducted fully on-chain on the Synthetics governance module, and in accordance with SIP 286, the election period has been reduced and is as follows. The nomination period starts December 17th, voting opens December 21st, voting ends December 31st, and the new epoch begins January 1st. And as always, SNXweave will be hosting a live panel with this epic Spartan Council candidates, so be sure to tune in next Wednesday, December 21st at 9 p.m. UTC in the Community Governance stage. In Ambassador Council updates, the team had Gearbox on again for Spartan Space last week. Master Mojo and Millie led the space with Jared Hedgelin, Muggle Sect, 0x Miko, and Ivan GBI, all representing Gearbox. Gearbox is a generalized leverage protocol that aims to be a leverage middle layer for DeFi. Users can increase and decrease leverage positions, swap between assets using their favorite DEX, stake in liquid staking positions, and much more. The protocol has two sides to it: passive liquidity providers who earn low-risk APY by providing single asset liquidity, and active farmers, firms, or even other protocols who borrow those assets to trade or farm with up to 10x leverage. The guest provided a great update on Gearbox V2, understanding their protocol, tokenomics, and governance. Be sure to catch the recording of the call in case you missed it. During their call last week, the ambassadors also discussed future Spartan spaces, governance items, and updates on external projects, integrations, and co-marketing. The ambassadors helped rally to secure voting on Convex and Curve for synth pools. A new BTC base pool was passed with Convex, and the Curve vote ended December 9th, and it closed with 85% yes votes. As far as ambassador governance and external protocol updates go, Millie, Matt, Master Mojo, and Kevin joined Euler Finance for a governance call recently. Sushi Swap wants to know if there are any plans to launch synth pools anytime soon, and Gumboats and Kevin have been in contact with multiple projects to update the copies. And lastly, a few new projects have joined the SNX Ambassador Discord: Odin, Impermax, Exponential, Equilibri, and Angle. And that's it for today's updates. Be sure to check out our weekly recap blog post, share this podcast link, and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear more about from SNXweave. Thanks for listening.